Hi, my dear lovely students. How are you? Welcome to our channel, Juhi's Verbal Classes. So, this is a special session where we are talking about common strategies to enhance your vocabulary. So, let's get started. Before we begin, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Juhi Narula. I have 12 years of experience in training students for various competitive exams. I also happen to be a life skills coach and a content creator. I've done my bachelor's in technology and master's in business administration. So, see, vocabulary building is something which would require consistent efforts, and we should never be dependent on one strategy to enhance vocabulary. We should try to incorporate as many ways as possible, and that would lead us to have a richer vocabulary base, right? So, what can be the ways? Let's quickly explore. The first tried and tested and most commonly suggested strategy is to read as much as you can, whatever you can, wherever you can. This usually people suggest. But if you would go for some intelligent reading, you would see that your vocabulary improves to absolutely another level. So usually what do students do? They read an article, and if they encounter a difficult word, they would there and then find the meaning of the word. Don't do that. Complete the article and try to gather the meaning by understanding the context. And just after finishing the article, please ensure that you find the right meaning, and then you will be able to associate the word better with the relevant context that you have just finished, right? So please do read. You can watch one short where I've talked about that if you're a beginner, what are the books that you can read, right? And don't hesitate to try various types of readings and genres. So at times people like fiction, they would just stick to fiction. Don't do that. Try to widen your horizon, right? Because the passages that you're going to get in your competitive exams, they would not always be driven by fiction, right? Usually they would be non-fiction. So when you read something based on biology, something based on someone's autobiography, or non-fiction economics, political discussions, you'll gather a good content, your knowledge would become better, and also we are going to see that there is remarkable improvement in the vocab base, right? Next thing, which is like my favorite strategy, and this is the most logical way to learn vocabulary, is to get to know the root words. So English has got its origin from Greek and Latin, the similar way the Hindi has got its origin from Devanagari lipi. So what do? We learn some roots and we create words. So you must have seen there are a lot of advertisements that say that learn 200 words in an hour, or learn 500 words in 2 hours. So how does this work? This works when you know the root. So this is a quick strategy, something which is very, very effective. And people usually complain that we find learning or cramming vocabulary, something which is a very tedious task, and there's no logic behind it. So abiding by root words, learning the root word approach will help you break this notion. So how does it work? Let me quickly explain this to you by considering some examples. So take the root cressy. Cressy means rule. Now you know this word democracy. Dem stands for people, cressy stands for rule. So democracy is government by the people. Plutocracy is government by rich. Autocracy is auto itself, and cracy is rule. So autocracy is self rule or dictatorship, right? So you must have heard of so many examples in our history where there were so many autocrat rulers who dictated, right? So it would be a sort of dictatorship. Aristocracy is government by blue blood or noble blood, so that's another cracy. And then bureaucracy is government by the officials. So in a way you are learning so many words together, and it is easy to retain also. Suicide, I'm sure you must have heard. Side means killing. So gynae stands for female. I'm sure you must have seen a gynecologist. So gynecologist is a specialist doctor for women, right? So gynecide would be killing of female. So it becomes easy to relate, right? Matricide. Matri stands for mother and side stands for killing. So matricide is killing of one's own mother. Patricide is killing of one's own father. You must have heard of patriarch society. So patri stands for father, arch stands for rule. So patriarch. India is a patriarch society where father is considered to be the head of the family. You must have heard of fraternity, which is brotherhood. So fratricide is killing of one's own brother. Infanticide is killing of newborn child, right? Feticide is killing the child in the womb, right? Now there can be sororicide, there can be regicide, there can be homicide, there can be insecticide, fungicide, and the list is endless, right? So you just need to know the roots, and then you can continue learning new words, right? Now come to this root. Ben stands for positive or good. So benevolent is a kind person. Benefactor is the person who sponsors good. Now I take a look at this word benediction. It comes from two roots. Ben stands for good and edict is to state something. So benediction is when you're stating good about somebody, right? So you are saying somebody bless you, may God be the kindest to you. So this is benediction. Beneficiary is who's going to receive the good. So you must have seen जब आपके मम्मी पापा LIC की पॉलिसीज लेते हैं तो बेनिफिशियरी में नाम मांगते हैं, तो आपके पापा या तो आपकी मम्मी का नाम लिखते होंगे या आपका नाम। तो कौन बेनिफिट रिसीव करेगा, वो बेनिफिशियरी हो गया, ठीक है। बोनाफाइड विल बी इन गुड फेथ। तो अगर आप एक फिल इन द ब्लैंक का क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं और आपको ये पता चल गया कि मेरे पास एक नेगेटिव वर्ड आएगा, और जैसे ही आपको बेन रूट से कोई वर्ड स्टार्ट करता हुआ मिला, तो आप एलिमिनेशन तो कर सकते हैं इवन इफ यू डू नॉट नो द एंटायर मीनिंग। सो दैट्स हाउ रूट वर्ड्स रियली रियली हेल्प यू गेट बेटर and understand words effectively, retain words for a longer time, right? So you can try these approaches, and there's a very interesting book, Word Power Made Easy. I'll also be having a lot of sessions where we will be discussing root words. I do a lot of shorts, right? So you can watch those shorts, and there's an exclusive playlist on the channel. So there we learn one root and five associated words, and you can take benefit from there, right? So if we consider this word anti, which is against, so antipathy, anti-terrorism, anti-corruption, right? So this way you can it. We're just putting it in a logical fashion so that your retention becomes better, right? Third, again, is a very popular strategy where you should know mnemonics. So, what are mnemonics? Mnemonics are memory tools that you create in order to retain better. आपको याद है जब हम सिक्स स्टैंडर्ड में थे तो हमें एटॉमिक नंबर्स से इंट्रोड्यूस कराया था, एटॉमिक राइट? सो हम कैसे याद करते थे 1 to 20? मैंने तो ऐसे याद किया था, हेली बेब कनो फने नाम गाल सिप्स क्लार्क का, राइट? तो जो पीरियोडिक टेबल में फर्स्ट 20 एलिमेंट्स हैं, तो याद करना आसान हो गया हमारे लिए, राइट? तो ऐसे ही अभी तक याद है, तो मे बी आई वॉज इन माई सिक्स स्टैंडर्ड, सो दैट गोज टू समवेयर इन द 90s का कहानी, right? So I've really become old, isn't it? So but the strategy is still relevant, right? So you can associate, maybe luminous you can associate with lamp, right? किसी के साथ भी associate कर लीजिए. This is highly personalized approach. The only thing is that you need to keep in mind that you are able to connect. लोकेशियस का मतलब टॉकेटिव है, तो आसपास देखिए, कैन यू थिंक ऑफ somebody in neighborhood who talks a lot, some uncle or some aunt or a friend of yours or somebody who really really talks a lot, like if I talk about locations, the only thing, I mean, the name that comes in my mind is Kapil Sharma. So this is how I am associating. You can associate with any person who talks a lot. So once you're associating, it will really become easy for you. Lassitude का मतलब laziness है, तो लस्सी पी के लैसिट्यूड आ गया, राइट? ये कुछ क्रिएटिव वेज हैं, बाकी आप ट्वीक कर सकते हो अपनी अप्रोच, आप पर्सनलाइज कर सकते हो. द ओनली इंटेंट इज दैट relate so that you're able to retain the word, right? उसके बाद एक ही बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग स्ट्रैटेजी है, जैसे क्लियर का हमने हर लेटर से उसका सिनोनिम क्रिएट कर लिया. एफर्ट टेकिंग है बट इंटरेस्टिंग बहुत है. देखिए, सी से क्लियर हो गया, एल से ल्यूसिड हो गया, ल्यूसिड मतलब आसानी से समझने वाला. उसके बाद ई से एविडेंट, राइट? सो समथिंग विच इज क्लियर इज एविडेंट, इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड. ए से एपरेंट हो गया, समथिंग विच यू कैन सी. आर से रिकॉग्नाइजेबल हो गया. सो दिस इज अनदर इंटरेस्टिंग अप्रोच. Whatever floats your boat, you can try that, right? But try, think. So if you'll start putting an effort, you'll be able to retain. The idea to teach you all these ways is that you're able to think, you are able to relate, you are able to understand that just by opening the book and cramming the words is not something which is the right thing to do. Rather, try to experiment, try to create, try to invent, try to discover the new ways where your retention improves and your learning becomes better, right? Now say if I give you this word gregarious which means outgoing, so greg root का मतलब people या झुंड होता है, herd होता है, तो gregarious एक outgoing person के लिए आप यूज करोगे। तो आप एक निमोनिक क्रिएट करो और क्या करोगे, आप कमेंट सेक्शन में वो निमोनिक डालोगे, राइट? सो दैट वुड बी एन असाइनमेंट फॉर यू, प्लीज डू दैट इफ यू आर वाचिंग द वीडियो, राइट? अनदर इंटरेस्टिंग अप्रोच इज कि आप फ्लैश कार्ड्स बना लीजिए। तो फ्लैश कार्ड्स भी बहुत पर्सनलाइज अप्रोच है। मैं क्या करती थी, आई यूज टू टेक अ गुड क्वालिटी पीस ऑफ पेपर। जो वेडिंग इनवाइट्स होते हैं उनमें आप देखोगे तो बहुत सारा स्पेस एम्प्टी होता है, राइट? तो मैं वहां से आई यूज टू कट द पेपर एज पर द साइज ऑफ अ प्लेइंग कार्ड, राइट? तो आइडिया ये है साइज छोटा रखने का कि आप अपने वॉलेट्स में या अपने पर्स में इजीली फिट इन कर सकते हो उसको, राइट? बुक लेके तो आप जगह जगह नहीं जा सकते, बट यू आर ऑलवेज कैरिंग योर वॉलेट और small purse. So you can write, you can take that size of cards, write 5 words that you've encountered which you have learned throughout the day. हर वर्ड के साथ दो synonyms, दो एंटोनिम्स लिख लीजिए, और जब कार्ड को फ्लिप करोगे पीछे की साइड मेन वर्ड को एक सेंटेंस में यूज कर लीजिए। आप देखेंगे कि अगर आप अपने लिए ऐसे 5 भी कार्ड्स बनाते हैं, मतलब आई यूज टू राइट 5 वर्ड्स इन अ कार्ड और दो एंटोनिम्स दो सिनोनिम्स, मतलब सिंपल कैलकुलेशन के हिसाब से 25 वर्ड्स एक कार्ड में आ जाते थे। और मैं 5 कार्ड बनाती थी और मेरा मंथली वीकली टारगेट 125 वर्ड्स का होता था। एंड ट्रस्ट मी ऑन दिस, आई स्टिल नॉट फॉरगॉटन दोज वर्ड्स। सो दैट इज रियली अ मैजिकल टेक्निक विच रियली फंक्शंस वेल। कैसे करना है, जब भी आपको टाइम मिले आप वो कार्ड्स को देख लीजिए। maybe you are traveling, you're in a metro, you are waiting for your friend to come, राइट? आप कैंटीन में हैं और आपने ऑर्डर किया है, अभी ऑर्डर नहीं आया, या एक टीचर ने एक होमवर्क दिया, सबने कर लिया, आपने कर लिया, बाकी सबका वेट कर रहे हैं। तो ऐसे बीच में जब भी आपको सेकंड्स मिल रहे हैं, जस्ट कीप ऑन ग्लांसिंग एट दोस पर्टिकुलर कार्ड्स and you will see that the words will stay for you for lifelong, right? So this is such an amazing and very interesting technique. आप थोड़ा सा उसको tweak भी कर सकते हो। जैसे कुछ स्टूडेंट्स मेरे जो synonyms होते हैं उसको ग्रीन से लिख देते हैं, एंटोनिम्स को रेड पेन से लिख लेते हैं। दैट यू कैन डू, आपके पास जितना टाइम है, जितनी अवेलेबिलिटी है और जितना आप क्रिएटिव हो सकते हो, यू कैन एक्सपेरिमेंट, राइट? सो ट्राई द स्ट्रैटेजी, राइट? So before we wrap up, we'll do this quick exercise. It's about the roots that we have just learned. So let's do it together. Rob is a large-hearted person. He is. So we are going to have a word which is having the root ben in it. So he is benevolent, right? He's kind. So you can put the word benevolent here, right? The USA is the oldest democracy, right? India is the largest, right? एक्सेप्ट एंड एक्सपेक्ट आर होमोनिम्स। निम नेम के लिए है, होमो सेम है, तो होमोनिम्स मतलब सिमिलर इन साउंड एंड इन नेम, राइट? ही वॉज ऑलवेज क्रिटिसाइज बिकॉज ऑफ हिज डैश नेचर। तो बेल का मतलब होता है अग्रेसिव होना, तो बेलिग्रेंट नेचर, लड़ाकू नेचर, क्वारलसम होना, ठीक है? तो बेलिग्रेंट वर्ड होगा। हेलन हैज मेनी फ्रेंड्स, शी इज ग्रिगेरियस। अभी हमने सीखा था, और ये आपका असाइनमेंट है, आपको निमोनिक क्रिएट करना है और कमेंट सेक्शन में डालना है, ठीक है? सो प्लीज डू दैट। सो these are few suggestions before we wind up, that stay consistent, that's very important. vocabulary journal को intact रखिए, एक जहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं कि आपकी डेली मॉनिटरिंग हो रही है, प्रोग्रेस कैसे हो रही है, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है। अगर बिना कोई टारगेट लिए, बिना अपनी प्रोग्रेस को ट्रैक किए एफर्ट करेंगे, तो दैट एफर्ट वुड नॉट बी इन द राइट डायरेक्शन, एंड दैट वी वुड नॉट वांट फॉर आवरसेल्व्स, राइट? एंड जब भी वर्ड आप लर्न कर रहे हैं उसको हाफ हार्टेड मत करिए, उसको पूरा का पूरा वर्ड को सीखिए। एक सिंपल एग्जांपल लीजिए, जैसे रेस्ट देखिए, रेस्ट का मतलब रिमेनिंग हो सकता है, ही टुक द रेस्ट ऑफ द बनानास। रिमेनिंग, रेस्ट का मतलब रिलैक्स करना भी हो सकता है, आई वॉन्ट सम रेस्ट, आई हैड अ डिफिकल्टी, राइट? और रेस्ट का मतलब डिपेंडिंग भी हो सकता है, दैट द रिसर्च वाज रेस्टिंग ऑन ईयर्स ऑफ स्टडी, राइट? सो देर आर 3 डिफरेंट मीनिंग्स। अब अगर आपको एक भी मीनिंग नहीं पता और कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अलग तरीके से यूज हो गया, तो आप फंस जाओगे, राइट? सो ऑलवेज ट्राई दैट यू लर्न द वर्ड एंटायरली, राइट? सो दैट वुड इंश्योर दैट यू get total success. Now, here are a few recommendations from my side. I already suggested this book, Word Power Made Easy, which talks about roots in a very interesting way. So please definitely buy this book. This is an investment, and this is a book which you can later hand over to your, kids or the coming generations, your younger siblings. Worth buying. It's very small. This small size book, red colored, and not very expensive also. Buy the book. I know it's time where everything is online, so people would really want to, go for an online soft copy, but I would recommend buy a hard copy. You would really enjoy solving it, right? And there isn't this interesting app Merriam Webster on the Play Store, so you can download the app. You get the detailed meanings of each word, so it would be, your task would be easy to find the words with the app easily available on the phone. It's a very popular dictionary, Merriam-Webster. So the app also has good, descriptions and right meanings of the words, right? So I hope you really like the session. Please help us, spread the word. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. God bless.